how do you judge a method? By short-term results, long-term results, or overall experience?
Don't judge it.
even my jaw cracked. I opened so quickly.
Experience it.
Okay.
Experience it yourself. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all here. And it's us again, Hanuman's daughters, Gunel and
Daria.
We are happy to see you with us. And today we'll be discussing an interesting topic. To be honest, I'm not sure what we will be discussing because Daria will be asking questions and I will be answering. But it will be around health and well-being, and hopefully it will be interesting, productive, and good.
We both agreed that Gunel deserves a hot seat as well, because we are inviting amazing specialists, and this is only fair if she participates here as well. So I have quite a few questions for you, and they are predominantly about two topics. The first one is about the misinformation in health, and I want to answer a question by end of the podcast. Are we our own enemy after all, or not? So keep this question in your head. We will be working around that. But before we continue, I wanted to introduce this wonderful woman. She is absolutely amazing. We have butterfly. This is a sign. She is as beautiful and perfect as butterflies. Generally.
Thank you.
She is a mother of 4. She has been practicing homeopathy for 18 years. I'm pretty certain that's wrong, and it's more.
Okay.
She has graduated from CHE, and she is regulated by help me out here.
Society of Homeopaths.
Society of Homeopaths.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Apart from that, she is amazing specialist in psychosomatics, which is rare.
Thank you.
And I think this is one of the very unique ways to run holistic practice.
Yep.
And on top of that, she is my partner, business partner.
Yes.
We have developed absolutely amazing, one of a kind, first one on the market product for homeopaths.
Unique,
yes.
Very unique, yeah.
One of a kind. And here today we wanted to start on different topic. So we won't cover HomeoSync today, we won't cover HomeoTech, because this is not why we are here today.
But we promise there will be an episode where we'll cover that as well, because these products we created do deserve a special
100%
episode just discussing them.
100%. And we are starting this interview with the very same question you like asking every single person we invite. So at what point of your life did you realize that you are different?
I did not expect you to ask me this question, to be honest, because we did cover that once, but it's interesting now that you ask. It's interesting when you ask the same question, you have a different answer every time, and it's almost like the way your consciousness will, or subconsciousness will, allow you to go to different layers. Right. Okay. I'll just tell you the first answer that came to my mind. I am in school, teachers telling me that I am not paying enough attention. I am really bad at, I have basically behavioral problems because I can't sit still, yet I can solve and understand things other kids can't. And I couldn't get my head around that. If I am stupid, if I am not paying attention, if I am not good at academically at school, why at some things I am way better and intelligent than other kids, where they take things as it is.
For granted.
Not just for granted. If somebody's telling them this is white, they go, okay, this is white. And I go, hang on a second, but is it? What if you turn around and look at it, it's gray. It's just like, trying to be able to see more than just, it's almost like not just answering the question by looking through a keyhole. seeing slightly bigger picture or desiring to see a bigger picture.
I love this analogy.
And as a child, it was like, I don't understand.
Mhm.
Something is not right. That was the first time. So from living my academic life by being one of the worst, over 1 week, I go to being one of the best.
What?
And I go, wow, what is this about? I am a top student in physics. And I believe that's where my love for homeopathy started, because for me, physics and homeopathy is like one, it's same thing. And while all the other children could not answer questions because they looked at it chemically or very like a very square-minded kind of thinking, I became one of the best students for physics, and that's when my world just went, oh my god, I think I just opened the box that nobody knew about.
Wow.
Yeah, I never actually thought about that before, but thank you for asking. It was something I didn't think that you would ask me.
What did you do with that feeling at the time when you have realized you have opened this box, and what happened next?
I just started embracing it, thinking, bloody hell, that feels good. And just doing it more and more and more. It was like once you start the car and it just keeps going, there's no stopping it. It was that kind of thing.
Inertia.
Yes, just kept going. And the faster I went, the more acceleration I gained. And it was just like,
wow. So it started back then, basically.
Yeah.
One of the things which I adore in you and I really value is that you have this amazing ability to smell the bullshit before you can see it. And this is the phrase she's using, actually.
Okay.
Is it a skill or it's something you born with? Can this be developed?
Oh, that's a good question. I believe that all children are born with it, and very slowly and gradually we are, I want to say move, but we don't move. We are pushed from outside. We are pushed away from it. We are all born with a desire to learn, to find out new things, to eat, and to evolve, let's say. That's how kids, nobody tells them, well, if you will learn to walk, you will actually get a job 20 years later, right? We do not explain it to them. They have this desire to evolve and to find out. They're constantly curious. That's how we tell them, don't go in that cupboard. That's why we are using certain locks for the fridges and things like that, because they are constantly looking for things. And we as adults quite often killing that in the bud. But yeah, it is very sad to think about. And, I, as a parent, probably made those mistakes myself, but it's not a bad thing. We're not judging anyone. The more slight traumas we give our children, the more they have growth points and they can work through that and grow. So it's fine.
More resilient.
They become more resilient. It's absolutely fine. It's not about, blaming game. But back to your question, can we develop it? Is it a skill? I think we all have that intuition, something that you can sense, almost like if I'm sitting in the room, I can feel somebody looking at me. We all know that feeling. It's not something we are taught. We just have the sense. Yes, we are basing our experience of this reality on 5 senses. The touch, the smell, the flavor, the sound, and the vision. Did I mention all 5?
Yeah.
Nose, mouth, eyes, ears, and skin. But there are so many others that we don't even think about. And one of them is that ability to go what you are saying sounds right, but it does not feel right. It's just like there's something wrong about it. And that's the feeling I had all my life when I went through school. Teachers, what they say and what says in the book seems right, but it doesn't make any sense. And I think one of the first times I realized personally when I was trying to learn astronomy, and everything is written
talked about it.
well, but it doesn't make sense. Why? If we are going so fast, if we are turning constantly, then we're rotating around this whole system, and then other things are rotating around us, and all the other planets and stars rotating as well or going somewhere in different directions. This one star always stays in the same place. Doesn't make sense. So all these kind of things that you can't explain, but it's almost like that kind of feeling inside your gut going, not having that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
One thing which I want to ask you is, so this instinct, basically, so this sense, intuition, if you want, what does it? So at the
Okay.
beginning, it always happens at some point. So like you have mentioned with kids, kids are progressive,
Mm-hmm.
they are destructive.
Mm-hmm.
It's very typical. So how many times I have cleaned my living room after my kid destroyed it?
Yeah, well, if you ask your daughter, she will say it's creative, not destructive.
Absolutely, yeah, my bad. And we are, as parents, we always try to protect our kids.
Yeah.
But it cannot be the only reason why we lose the sense of intuition, why we lose the sense that something doesn't feel right. What happens? Where we break, basically? It's a very deep question, I know.
Yes, it is. I have to start somewhere to try and move from that starting point in
Mhm.
different directions. First of all, I want to say you said it's an instinct. You know, humans don't have instincts.
What?
When I found out about this, like, what? Ah! Because if humans would have instincts, no human would ever kill themselves. That wouldn't be possible.
I cannot believe that.
We have reactions,
Yes.
and we have what is it called? I will remember this term and I will come back to it. But the instinct does not work with humans. It works with animals. That's why animals never commit suicide. Cool, right?
I am shocked. I'm utterly shocked.
And now going back to your question, where did the break happen? I don't know where it happened. I
Okay.
honestly don't know. We can talk about it for, as we always do, for hours and hours and probably come to a conclusion. But, taking in count as this episode, it's only going to be an hour. I will kind of touch on certain things that I am certain
Yes,
of.
please.
So what happens, I believe, I am as an adult who came to the point where I had a child with certain traumas that happened to me, and I did not work with them. I didn't want to look there because it hurts, because there's no need. What's the point of touching the past? And, we're all big now, all of those kind of explanations we love to give ourselves to kind of move on. And they are great to the point. But then what happens is, because of your own fears and because of your own anxieties, you are stopping your own children from living their life and making mistakes that you had right to make.
Yes.
So basically, you're robbing your children from making no mistakes, even though you had that right. But I did it, but you can't. Because if you do it, it's going to hurt me too much. I can't cope with my own pain. I can't cope with my own fear. I can't face that fear that I feel, that I faced many, many years ago. So the easiest thing to do, you stop. So we're sacrificing their experience and making their life experience very refined to the point where they don't have any survival skills. And as they grow, they don't develop those survival skills, which means it's harder for them to develop it. And that's why these illnesses are getting younger and younger. And there's so many children are getting sicker and sicker as well, because they almost have no right to experience their life, survival, or anything. Can you remember what our playgrounds used to look like? It's like a war zone.
We must have a picture here floating just to show people what does it look like.
Okay.
It for people who never experienced anything, it would look like a set of torture machines.
Yes, it's like a war zone.
With
Yet-
katana sprinkles on top.
Yes, yet we survived. We played games where we had to find broken glass and run with that broken glass.
Yep.
And collect it within a minute. So you are running with pieces of broken glass. We played with the seesaws that looked like basically just the pieces of metal sticking out of both sides, and yet we didn't kill each other or ourselves.
Surprisingly.
There's so many things that we have done. One of the things was explosives as well that we used.
Let's not get that there.
So all I'm saying that even if we did such crazy stuff and we survived, and it was only one generation away. I mean, our own children, we are like, No, their playground have to be protected with this super rubber thing, so
Yes.
there is no possibility for them to feel pain.
Yes.
Pain is incredible. It teaches our nervous system
Yep.
to be able to overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
I love when people talk about, I have very low pain intolerance. There's no such thing. It just means your nervous system hasn't been trained to deal with it at all. It's not that you are unique and your pain intolerance is low. It's high or low. It's not about that. So, for example, it's all about your perception. If your mom brushes your hair, it hurts. If you pick it up yourself and brush it, you can't feel a thing. If you're
That's
walking
true.
past the bush and a stinging nettle stings you, it hurts. If you pick up a stinging nettle and sting yourself, it doesn't hurt. It's all about your perception, how well you are connected with your nervous system. How are you prepared for this? Are you
Mhm.
okay with it? Are you adapting? The adaptation as a main
Mm-hmm. Tool.
it's not even a tool, it's a main sign of health, not lack of symptoms,
Yeah.
but the ability to adapt, yeah, to the new things, whatever's happening, in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, mobile phones. We, for
What
some
about them?
reason, think that our life depends on them. I caught myself thinking that I was driving down the road and I went, oh, I forgot my phone. What if something happens? And then I can't contact anyone. And I thought, you spend half of your life without owning one.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden that becomes a problem.
Yeah.
We played for years, for decades on the streets. Parents didn't know where we were or where we are, but it was our problem to get home on time. We didn't have a watch.
Mm-mm.
We just had to be on time. It's almost like you knew by all these natural things that
Mhm.
occur in the sky or somewhere.
I'm in trouble already. You could smell it physically.
So it's about the child learning how to
Mm-hmm.
rather than how not to.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about this a lot, where this generation and probably previous generations, as we are such overthinkers and such underdoers. And I think that's where it kind of starts. We overthink things. We're too afraid to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And we are perfectionists. And I think the reason for being so is because we were told that if you do it wrong, that is a problem. You can't do something wrong. It's because our parents are too afraid to make that mistake, because mistake means suffering. It's because their suffering is so unbearable to them that they can't cope with it, so we can't make those mistakes, so we have to be perfect, putting more pressure on ourselves. So we end up overthinking everything and making sure we're not doing things that we shouldn't be doing, and then it kind of leads us to underdoing. So going back to your question, where you say, where does it dull? It dulls with parents not being self-aware enough to go into it and healing themselves first before reaching out to their children, going, you are doing this right or you're not doing this right. Because child intuitively knows what to do and what not to do. And even if they don't, they will find out how to. They will go through that experience and learn how to.
Mm-hmm.
It's our job to reach out to our inner child and heal our inner child before we start thinking that we can do it with our external children.
Real ones, physical ones.
This one is real as well, and this one is physical too, but it's inner.
Yeah.
The one that is sat there crying because it's like an orphan.
Mm.
Nobody really cared back then, and nobody
No.
cares now, because if you're not looking inside and you're constantly on outside making sure these are safe, then that one is a little orphan that nobody cares about.
Do you have anything to add before I ask my next question?
No, I think I covered everything. Thank you for asking.
What I hear is that there is certain element of fear and
Yep.
authority as well, because parents, regardless how you look at this is the authority. Because when you said somehow we didn't have watch and somehow we knew that we must be at home on time because this is already too late.
Yes.
And I remember this feel of massive panic that, okay, I am done. This is my last day on earth because I will be brutally murdered for not coming on time. And it's no one's problem. So I can relate to that.
Nobody ever actually experienced that,
No.
but everyone was afraid of it.
Yeah.
It never happened. I never knew that. Do you remember that kid whose father killed him because he came home on time, on late? You know,
15 minutes late, yeah.
yeah, it never happened. Yet we were all lived in this crazy fear.
Yeah. I remember that. But this is what saved us. And I guess this is
Yeah.
something that also drives us to make certain decisions for our kids to protect them out of fear.
Are we protecting them or ourselves?
This is the open question.
Mm.
And my real question, which I wanted to ask, one of the things which I think doesn't help
Mhm.
at all is that it seems that by default, we agree to that statement. 9 out of 10 professionals agree this is the best thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
And this resonates really well with what you have said about overthinkers and undoers,
Mhm.
because we are so fearful
Mhm.
by looks of it that it's easier to
Mhm.
go and just listen what people say.
Oh, I see where you're going with that. Okay.
So
I like that.
what can we do about it? So
I will actually take you back to your previous question because these two are very connected, well connected. So, what I'm trying to say, one of the things that dulls that intuition is external authorities. And you are starting to lean towards external authorities when you are, as a very open minded and curious child, get punished for things you do and you are told, and you're kind of looking at your parents or at your teachers or at your trainers, whoever is there as an important adult in your life. You're looking at them thinking, well, what did I do wrong? And they say, well, you have to think 7 times and only one time cut, or something, some bullshit like that.
I
Basically,
love it.
it's all the things that you're not here to think, you're here to do, or to do what you are told. So leave the thinking to the clever ones. All those kind of things where you started losing connection with yourself, thinking that you do not know what you need, but they definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, they are the older ones, they are the mature ones, they know what's best. Stop being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You're clever, do you? It's those kind of comments that we're like,
Mhm.
oh my god, no, I probably not. If they making fun of me, or they like saying it sarcastically, I'm probably not. Yeah, so you start losing and numbing that intuition inside you, and every time it has a tiny chance to kind of show itself, you're like, no, we're not going there, we're not going there at all. But then what happens? We go to school and we carry on hearing these things. Do as you're told. Do as you told.
Yes.
Not do as you feel. Not do as you think, but as you told. Somebody else knows better than you do. And slowly and gradually, we're going from one system in a family to
Mhm.
another system in school, and another
Mhm.
system institution, I don't know, universities or anything, and then job where you have to follow certain vertical hierarchy where somebody's telling you what to do, and then you kind of following you're just becoming, I don't want to even say robot, it's a cyborg, a human who is just following orders. And the question you asked about authorities,
Yeah.
and about, did you say about health?
I wanted to ask. It's my next question.
Okay. Yeah, basically that's where the break happens.
Yeah. One thing which I wanted to ask, and I cannot stop thinking about this. So our grandmothers,
Yeah.
how they treated health, it was completely different to mainstream ways of healing. So I remember that mustard in my socks when I have sniffles or something.
Yeah.
And at that time,
Mhm.
we didn't ask what the hell is happening. So you just literally thrown into a bunch of random herbs, teas, lots of different odd substances being put on your skin.
Yeah.
Your skin at the same time being grabbed vigorously.
Yeah.
And we didn't ask at that time that something is just, I'm not going to do it.
Mhm.
But then when you go from one system, family system, to another system, and they start not just question, but impose that toothpaste, according to 9 out of 10 professionals, is the best thing for you to have. So how come grandma, who gives you charcoal, is not authority anymore and being overridden by that 9 out of 10 dentist professionals?
No idea. I'm not gonna even pretend. I would say marketing probably. Well, when the grandma's authority was overridden by a cool-looking toothpaste tube, I don't know. But it's the same thing, there she takes responsibility for you and she tells you what to do rather
Yeah.
than going, well, go for foraging and find your own herb. She is actually taking responsibility for you and she sticks you into these substances without you asking them,
Yes.
asking her to do it, or she's not telling you what's happening.
Yep.
Same thing doctors doing.
Can you elaborate?
Well, they don't ask you what you need. They don't ask you exactly how do you feel. They just pick up signs and symptoms. Not even symptoms, it's like more signs.
Okay.
Well, they just basically observe you or talk to you, and based on that, okay, it hurts like this, fine. There you go, try this. If it doesn't work, come back. So it's just going from one authority to another authority rather than being authority for yourself, using other tools to help you.
Ooh, that's deep.
Can I just give a little example?
Please, by all
So,
means.
for example, if something goes wrong in my body and I go to a specialist and they go, say, I think that you need your kidney removed. And you go, well, how is that going to help me? And they're like, well, because, your heart is working too hard. If we take one kidney away, it probably will work less. So it's probably better for your heart.
Excuse me?
And then just a simple, it's something that was happening to me this week and something that I wasted myself on emotionally. So it's something very fresh for me. It doesn't have to be kidneys. It's just an example. Okay. So I can take it further. And then you go ahead with it because you trust the authority.
Yeah.
And then the kidney is removed. And then yet your problem is still there. You still got runny nose.
Surprise.
And you go and hang on a second, but it's still like that. And you go, wait, well, we're going to try another specialist. The other specialist comes and they go, well, we have no idea what the previous specialist did because we are the contractors of this whoever, doctor or whatever. We are somebody who brought from outside. So we can't take responsibility for what happened before us, but we can do our own evaluation and then we will take it further. So you go, okay, fine. So they look at your nose, they look at your throat, they look at your toes, and they go, we think by drilling your toes, we can find out what the pressure in your circulation, for example, is. And based on that, we can see how hard your heart is pumping. And then we can see what the problem is. And then
So basically, the problem escalates weirdly.
escalates to the point where I, in the situation I was, basically was like, how many attempts does it take you to actually realize that the problem is not in the kidney, it's not in my toe, it's not in my nose, there is something there. And for you to actually look at the core, it was very domestic situation. It was nothing to do with who lives in this household. It was somebody on outside, but it was driving.
So it's based on a real story.
Yeah, it's based on a real story. Nothing to do with health, but it was exactly like healthcare, exactly. And I was so angry because I said, well, it's exactly what happens with our health. We are chopped. We put on medications, we are treated with certain things, and then nobody really cares because, okay, we'll bring another contractor, we'll bring another specialist, and they don't talk to each other, and they don't know what's going on, and you can't blame them because the decisions one made does not apply to the other one because it was like, it wasn't me, I didn't do that. So it's all, but this is me who's being cut and chopped and messed around with. How many attempts does it take for you to say, hang on a second, why don't we look at the core of the problem rather than chop and cut and everything? And this, it really gets to me. Why not have a look at the problem right from the beginning while you still have 100% of your organs and everything you have before you are on your knees and perhaps you passed the point of non-return?
What I hear in this situation where you have many different parties involved, which segregated.
I did not answer your question.
I want.
Never mind. Okay, go on.
I wanted to follow up on this.
Go on.
All these parties are not connected to each other
Uh-huh.
in your example.
Mhm.
And I want to ask a question about misinformation and disinformation.
Okay.
So in your specific example where the situation keeps escalating and escalating and escalating because more parties appear to resolve unknown root of the problem, no one talks with each other. So practically this means that one party is misinformed,
Yes.
but overall you as a person who is suffering becomes disinformed victim.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, but disinformation happens either because of the ignorance.
Okay.
Why look into the core? It's gonna
Yeah.
take ages, it's gonna cost us God knows how much, and do we really need to? Or deliberately, because you know that if you're gonna go for the core, it's gonna cost you 10 grand, where you will come up with another solution, it will cost you only 3 grand. So why? So it is disinformation, and only by showing the state I was in, they could see they just hit my limit. And there was like, you either doing it or I'm going to destroy you. You can't. That's it. I am very patient, but you just hit, because the problem we had was it lasted 8 years. And I thought, okay, we just keep going. We will keep going and we will keep asking, talking, debating, emailing and doing this. And that morning, it was just like,
What's the problem?
done.
Or you don't want to share?
It's nothing to do with health. Well, in a way it is, but it's very personal, and it's something to do with domestic and other people involved. So yeah, I would like to keep it.
Okay, that's absolutely
because they
fine.
didn't give their permission for me to speak about them.
I'm so intrigued. Probably our listeners too, as well, at this point. Do you want something to add, or I can follow up with another question?
We were talking about media and how this authority goes from grandma to them. I don't know.
So the difference between misinformation and disinformation,
Yeah.
how to understand what's physically wrong,
Yeah.
or something oversimplified. The reason I'm asking is because I love marketing and I hate it at the same time. I used to do marketing myself, and the amount of absolutely contradictory information we have online is absolutely enormous. So on one hand, we say that on social media, one guy, this is actually the case. I was scrolling Instagram and the guy says, protein in eggs is perfect for you. This is what you need to eat if you want to have protein. Woman says, don't eat eggs because they contain 15 billion different things in them. So don't eat eggs. You need to eat only real eggs. And then it just piles up and escalates and piles up. And my brain is literally just
overthinker.
So what do we do? Especially in health, because
delete Instagram off your phone.
I'm not ready for that.
Throw your phone away into the river.
Like that.
What do we do? What do we do? Get a homeopath.
Love it.
What do we do? The more, okay, we live in this time and place where we have so much information, so many different stimuli. We're constantly stimulated by things. And as I was talking to my friend earlier, she said that our previous generation was understimulated because they took longer it took them longer to do things. So at some point during 90s, they had to speed up to get somewhere. The fastest would win.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of thing. So their growth point was to speed up, to learn to adapt and speed up. It's almost like we were born sped up. And we need to really slow down. How many times, I'm going to shoot you now, how many times do you listen to your stories on Instagram on X2?
Not just stories.
Proofreading.
Voice messages from that lady as well. I'm sorry.
It's all about more, faster, keep going, again and again, more. It's almost like we're trying to shove in unshovable into this day. And no matter how much we fit in, it's never enough. It's almost like we were born rushed. And the growth point
Yeah.
for us is to actually slow down.
Mm.
Take that Instagram reel is only maximum 1 minute long, and yet we are still speeding it up to make it 30 seconds so I can watch double of those.
Yes. Social media is one of the points which I would really want to discuss with you.
Any kind of tool is
It's
there, and it has bad side, good side, or they're just neutral. It's how we use it. And to your question, what do we do? Is educate ourselves.
Mhm.
Ask yourself more questions that we normally do. Why am I doing it? What
Mhm,
is that for me? Rather than, oh, I don't want to know, it's too deep. This shit is too deep. I don't want to do that. Well, if this shit is too deep and you don't know where you're going, please do not be surprised where you end up at. And I mean it.
Yeah.
Because if you are moving through your life, you can do exactly the same things, but at least you understand and you're self-aware why you're doing them. For example, I love this example, and you know what's coming.
No.
If you smoke,
Okay, it's a different example. Because I was thinking about something else. That's good. Good.
if you smoke, don't stop smoking and don't try and suppress it with your will, because your desire, and not just desire but survival mechanism that you are helping through smoking, it's not going to go anywhere. The problem is still there. Something that wants and makes you smoke is still there. Smoking is just another breathing technique. It helps you to cope with the reality and a stressful situation that you are in. So is it good or bad? Well, in this instance, it helps you to survive. So it's probably on your side. It's a tool. But if you are using this tool for 20 years, which means you are surviving for 20 years, it's not really living then, is it? You're just existing. So instead of just palliating the symptom or the stress quickly through the smoking, have a look what is actually stressing you. So while you are still smoking, have a look what is actually so shitty in your life that stresses you so much that you need a dummy to stick in your mouth, to suck on something, to breathe in, take that deep breath in, pause, and breathe out, breathing technique. Or to comfort yourself, instead of a thumb, put a cigarette in your mouth. It's all about those very, very basic patterns.
Thought of that in this way.
Or to shut your mouth when you want to speak. When somebody happened, when you want to say something to somebody and it's not, it's not right, it's not appropriate, whatever, it will ruin relationships, it will ruin friendships. You get a cigarette out, you stick it in your mouth, shut the hell up, basically. Instead of just saying, do you know what? You're doing my head in and I don't really like you. I don't like the way you behave. I do love you, but I do not like you. You have right to be honest. And then desire to smoke actually goes away. You don't even, think about it. Yeah.
That's impressive.
What, the smoking part?
I am generally impressed with this example. Can you provide any other examples when it's been so overly simplified? Because the cigarettes is an amazing example by
yes,
by
I can.
logic.
Missing people. I love that one.
What?
When somebody tells you, I miss you. Do you know when you go on the most fabulous holiday that you always dreamt about?
Yeah.
And you are enjoying every single bit. The beach is amazing. The sky, the mountains, the snow, the music, the food. How often do you pick up your phone and go, I miss you? You don't even remember what phone is.
Actually, I would debate on this one. So
then you didn't truly enjoy the holiday.
But what if you want to share this holiday with someone who is not there, and that's why you miss them?
That's it's secondary. We will get to that. It is a secondary thing. But my point is, when you're truly present in the moment and you're really enjoying it, you don't think, oh, I didn't post that on Instagram. You don't.
That's true. That's 100% true.
You forget about it, or you fall in love. You are in the middle of this beautiful process of, I don't know, lovemaking or just being with that person. How often do you think about your friends?
Just a second, let me scroll Instagram very quick.
You don't even think about, oh, what does my friend think about this? Or, she texted me, you're like, oh, I'll do it later. You postpone everything because you're in that moment and you don't want to get distracted. When you miss someone and you go, oh, I miss you so much, they need to get a life. It's basically, I don't feel good enough with myself. I can't find the enjoyment in that moment. Nothing, and I'm not going to do anything about it either. What I'm going to do is emotionally suck you out. So whatever you're doing there, I want to drag you out of there and tell you I'm not feeling good. So come and make me feel good. Get a life.
Oh my goodness.
So when somebody's telling you they miss them, I want you to know that they are emotionally eating you up. Yeah, so it's one of the examples that and then when you want to share with somebody else, it's about that kind of feeling of guilt, that feeling of
That's the-
not you know, did you have the whole bar of chocolate yourself and didn't even share with your sister? It's that memory that
Okay.
something, somebody will come back to you and say, how could you go on such a good holiday without anyone else? And you kind of making yourself feel better by sharing. I did share, I did send pictures. It's that thing. So they are different. Yeah,
That's amazing example. Thank you so much.
it's okay. Yawning is one of them as well. When somebody's talking and you yawn, it's not because you're bored. Boredom doesn't exist. It means there is an emotion that you can't cope with. You suppress it in that moment and call it boredom through yawning. Pay attention to that. It is super cool. So you feel angry or you feel like you want to get up and say, just stop talking. Well, and instead of that, you are suppressing it and you start yawning, going like, no, it's okay. Keep talking. Yeah, keep talking. It's very interesting. It is a really cool thing.
I am shocked. I love it so much. I will never forget it now. Thank you.
Every single conversation with our friend group is
Yeah.
like this.
That's very
If you
fun.
are not ready for this level of conversations, you are not ready for this friend group at all.
I want to get back, if possible, to idea of fear.
Okay.
So we touched based on this topic for quite several times now.
Mhm.
And social media is one of the biggest arenas
Mhm.
for fear to develop.
Yes.
And how can we pinpoint a moment where we scroll this Instagram X2
Mhm.
and we see absolutely two contradictory messages, and if you remember that this is coming from a fear
Yes.
perspective,
Uh-huh.
will this help us to identify whether this is misinformation or disinformation?
Yeah, it does help. It does help. Well, it helps me anyway because I can only talk from my own experience. For example, my sister will come to me and say, Dad loves you more than Mom. And then the other one will come to me because I've got two sisters. And the other one says, no, Mommy loves you more than Dad. And who do
Okay.
I believe?
Yes.
Neither. Because you are your own authority. And you go, well, why don't I figure out for myself? And that's the moment when you have misinformation. The more misinformation you have, the bigger desire to find out you should have, and more like being curious and going, I want to actually know what this is all about. And I don't really see how it will probably get in the way of people who are learning their living their life through being led, and they are okay with it.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people I speak to, they go, I do not want to know, and I have to respect that. We are not all born to know.
Yep.
It's okay if
Yep.
some people, I have people in my close circle who go, I don't care, I don't want to know. Get
I
up.
was one of them as well.
Yeah, come on, you always wanted to know.
Let's leave it there.
Okay. Not wanting to know, and it's different.
Mhm.
The difference is not realizing that you do not know is one thing.
Mhm.
Knowing that you don't know and going, no, I'm going to close my eyes and I don't want to hear, I don't want to see, I don't want to feel, don't go there. No, thank you. That's a completely different thing.
I couldn't agree more.
So it's more about almost like a informative choice. When somebody tells you and you're like, don't even want to hear it, don't tell me. Yeah, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So for them, it will be difficult to find out. It probably will push them out of their comfort zone because then they have to find out. But for people who are driven through their curiosity, it's probably a good stimuli to go, tasty, yummy, delicious,
Or-
disgustingness. I want to find out more.
I love it. The one of the things that we constantly see
Yeah.
all the time on social media, in general marketing practices, is before and after. And I think this is one of the most disguised tools,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't believe that people at any point share what happens
After.
or between before and after.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So what do you think about this tool, before and after? So if you are sick at the moment, you come to the homeopathic practitioner,
Right.
and after that you will transform.
You will transform. But which ruler do you measure with? And which graph do you look at? And where is this before and after fit to the point where you go, okay, before I had acne. Now I don't have acne, but for some reason my left leg just fallen off. How do we measure it? Do you understand? It's just like there isn't before and after. We have to look at the whole picture. Okay, fine, I don't have any symptoms, but I feel like I want to kill myself.
Oh my goodness.
Is it good or bad? But I don't have symptoms. My acne is gone, but my liver is falling off. Do you know what I mean? So which before and after are we actually talking about? And we cannot just rip it out of context and start saying, well, this is what happened before and this is what happened after, because we can't see the whole picture before and we can't see the whole picture after, because it will take 2 hours in homeopathic consultation to actually find out what happened.
I can relate to that. It does take a couple hours. So people who never never seen homeopath, get ready. Like literally minimum 2 hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just feels that whole day is invested into this, because once the session is finished, you get out and like, what was that? I remember that feeling. I remember that feeling super vividly. After you have asked me 15 billion questions, I close my computer and I'm like, what was that?
I was poked and probed without any physical contact. What happened?
Yes, it was. It was that feeling. I wanted to ask you about something about your own practice.
Okay.
So we are on the topic about misinformation, disinformation, lots of contradictory statements living out there. So there is the idea of this enemy with these statements that affects our thinking, our way of living. If you get back for a second to idea of your practice, how often does homeopathic papers come out? If they come out, and when? How do you fact check them? Because this is also a piece of information, isn't it?
Personally. Or how do other homeopaths do it? Oh, I personally only will look into the new studies and things like that when I am on the subject. I don't do it because I have to, because when I do something when I have to, I don't do it.
I can relate.
I only go there when I have this fire of interest burning inside me and I go, okay, I want to find out about polycystic ovaries. I need to know. Why is this happening? They say they don't know, but I want to know. It's almost like it's interest driven, and usually it's patient driven as well. So when I have a patient and I'm getting so invested into the process of helping them, I will kind of go into, learning more and more. And I would say research, even though we don't hear about it as a general public, there is research, homeopathic research, and there's so many papers on different conditions, on water memory, on so many different things. They are out there if you look, but when you open them, you kind of like, okay, I don't understand. Close, because it's heavy stuff. It's very complex subject.
It is.
Yeah.
When you get a new study or a paper or any new research paper, for example, do you have any red flags that help you to identify whether this smells odd or not?
I personally look out for the wording, the way people speak. when they
Okay.
say always, never, or
yes.
everyone, or no one. It's like, okay. Or do you remember when one of the podcasts there was a homeopath who said if something is called the Truth Society, it means it's far from truth. It's that kind of thing. When
Yes.
they are being like black, white, or green, it means there's something odd about it. But homeopaths, because we look at everything holistically, we usually do not take that approach. Sometimes when the new thing comes out, for example, AI, not many homeopaths know about AI, and that's okay. They're not taught in colleges how to act, to interact with AI, but they kind of on the techie side, and they want to appear to be understanding what it is, and they use ChatGPT, for example, the free version, and they go, I get AI. They start coming up with conclusions that actually have nothing to do with what it really is. So I always take it with pinch of salt as well. So if one guru will tell you something that, this is the thing, if you meditate 15 hours on July 15th, I don't know, so somewhere under some tree, and it will kind of solve all your problems, I always take it with pinch of salt. It's almost like, how do you know that?
Thank you.
Where did you get your information from? How do you base this knowledge? What are you basing it on? Why should I believe you? Not because I don't believe them, because I genuinely want to know, why would I believe you? It's almost like if somebody's telling you to do something, I want to understand why. Just like a kid. Why?
That's perfect. Thank you.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
So we need to review the source. We need to review what they say, how they say things.
Yes.
Just to wrap up everything you have mentioned for our listeners.
Yes.
How they say, if it's black and white and it's just on one side of the
Yes,
scale.
how they say it. And also to be able to talk about the same subject, to be able to explain it to you, rather than memorize a block of text in the very clever words with the terminology, just throw it at you and to appear to be clever. So if I'm 5-year-old and I say, well, can you explain to me if I'm 5-year-old, if they can explain it and that then makes sense to you, then they probably know what they're talking about. If they can't, and they go, well, just do as you told, and how dare you question my authority, it means they haven't got a clue. They just memorize it.
That's amazing. Thank you. And basically take everything with pinch of salt.
Always.
Which is my next question.
Okay.
So I really like your analogy. Everything is either black or white. This is one of the red flags. I totally agree with that. And then when we start feeling that something doesn't feel right, doesn't seem right, doesn't read right, we start doing our own research. So when do we stop? Because
never.
How do we end up in still sanity level without going into very severe conspiracy theories when something doesn't make any sense?
Well, it's just another extreme, isn't it?
That's why I'm asking. When do we stop? Because otherwise we will end up in the very same black and white.
When you are putting jigsaw puzzle together.
Yes.
And you pour everything onto the floor. And you've got all these pieces of puzzle.
Yes.
How do you start?
Well, I start with the corners.
That's exactly how you start. You set your own boundaries, what is right for you. So you start with the frame. And whatever you will put in that picture will be your picture. The more pieces you will find from different teachers, from different gurus, from different influencers, it doesn't matter, wherever you find it, it's your picture and you are the one who's building this picture. And that's what I'm talking about. Take it with pinch of salt with me, which means I'm going crazy. Out of 100% of what they said, you take 5 or 10. What really kind of resonated with you, not what they said, what resonates within you when they're saying it. So your truth has been kind of touched for you to be able to hear it, and you just take that and put it here and then put it there, and then your picture becomes clearer and clearer, and then all of a sudden you see it's a field and you can see a horse or you can see something. It's, first of all, you build the boundaries.
That's amazing advice. Thank you so much. And I'm pretty I'm pretty sure that everyone will write this down as well. because when you said it with the jigsaw puzzle, I'm like, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense actually. Thank you. I wanted to ask you a personal question.
Ooh, go on.
Yes.
I'm a very shy person, you know that.
Mhm.
I'm probably the least shy person you know.
We have covered a lot about misinformation. You have presented some really, really good, really solid, informative examples.
Mhm.
Is there any piece of information that you believed personally until you realized it's actually wrong? Wrong is not the word I wanted to use, but
Yes. I will just go with the flow. One thing that I realized and a mistake I've made through being a parent.
Yep.
I don't know how it relates to health, but I believe it's, psychological health, and psychological health relates to general health. I always told myself that if I was traumatized as child and I am in the mess I am where I am right now, to solve that, I have to do everything I can to not traumatize my own children.
Oh.
And only when they grew up and, in past teenagers, I was like, shit. I actually traumatized them even more because I'll give them the traumas to work with. So they are sucking their problems out of their finger, going, oh, my life is so hard. And it's probably my biggest mistake that I've made, because you need to almost artificially make it hard for them, safe.
Mm-hmm.
Not chuck them out and be like, I believe in you, mate, you can do it. Yeah. It's about almost like making them do things, traumatizing them through it, to be able to watch them and help them if they are struggling, but put them through very uncomfortable, artificially uncomfortable situations where they can do it. Make your bed, cook, do the dishwasher. Yes, it's every single day you have to do dishwasher, but you have to. You don't like doing it? Okay, do the dishes. Break a plate and then pick the pieces up. It's all about that kind of artificial things, where I thought if I am the mother who makes them do things, I'm giving them unhappy childhood and the childhood where they suffer, and then they will hate me, and then they will tell their psychologist about, the traumas that they had. What I realized is
everyone has traumas.
It actually started with me talking to myself and thinking how our desire was to spend time outside, because as soon as you go inside, they'll find you a job to do. Where now kids, I remember telling my friends about it, I have to physically push them out through the door, lock the door, and say, right, you will come in an hour because it's nice and sunny. Why wouldn't you want to be inside? And they always want to come back in.
Yeah.
And I was, constantly trying to think, what actually went wrong? What went wrong? What went wrong is when they're inside, nobody wants anything from them. They are not being bombarded with work where we were. So we tried to stay away. And for us, outside was the space of freedom where we could play and just do things, where inside it was all about labor as punishment.
Yes.
And that's where it clicked that, oh my God, that's exactly what I need to do. I need to make it artificially uncomfortable for them inside, so they are driven outside to do what children do best, play. That was one of where I always believed, and then it just all kind of collapsed. And another one is about avoiding conflict and being diplomatic and being polite. Sometimes it's better one time not to be polite for everything to resolve than for years and years and years to be polite. And then you look back and you're thinking, what was this relationship even about? It doesn't matter. You're with your boss, with your partner, with your friend. It doesn't matter. It means you keep constantly lying to yourself,
and sacrificing yourself.
Sacrificing yourself, not speaking your truth. Another one. I can't think of anything yet. I should have prepared for this.
That's the whole point. There is no script, so you have genuine reaction to the question. Is there anything about food or something we consume on daily basis?
Food. I don't know. Do you have anything in mind? Because I'm lost. My mind is just wandering everywhere now.
My example.
Okay.
And I really believed in this for so long
Mhm.
is that if you can buy something in a shop,
Yes.
it cannot be harmful for you because there are several regulations that make sure that you don't die out of poison that is stored in the bread.
It's okay.
Uh-huh.
I accept you the way you are.
But that was real thing, and for a very long time I had brain fog, I had severe acne, I constantly was bloated, I didn't have energy, and I was my dopamine levels were like roller
Mhm.
coaster.
Yeah.
Until I read the book, Ultra Processed People. I really advise everyone to read it and learn by heart. It is very research based. And it explains personal experiences of the author. He is a professor, as far as I remember, in one of the colleges in London. And he did an MRI before and after 1 month of being clean, eating super clean, super boring food,
Mhm.
and eating just processed food.
Mhm.
And the results were mind blowing. So the hormone development has been switched. So he didn't feel hungry for a very long time until he suddenly starves himself, even though he started eating just now.
Mhm.
Depression, anxiety, lots of different things. And I remember that very vividly. I'm driving, I'm listening to this audiobook because I didn't have time to physically read. And I'm like, yeah, this makes perfect sense. Why I was thinking differently? Why I was thinking that the ice cream that doesn't melt is okay?
Because of the fear of you know that subject you touched about, is the enemy out there, or we are our own worst enemies? It's the fear salmonella is out there. If you go to the farm, it's like you can see it walking on the field.
Yep.
Yes, so don't. In the shop, they are clean, they're stamped. It has a stamp, it means it's safe.
That's what I mean.
All of those things, it's fear based. And you know what's interesting? When we were talking about external authority, about kids, and about all of that, we as adults, without realizing so, putting the responsibility of not just ourselves, but our children. We don't take responsibility for our children. We are passing that responsibility on to the doctors. So if something goes wrong, we have somebody else to blame. Where I wouldn't say the blame, but the responsibility is it's our child. So we are the emotional and physical containers, where we physically carry them for 9 months first with their container, yeah, and then as they come out and they're born, we are the emotional container, and we go, okay, whoever you are, however you are, I love you, and I'm here, I'm holding you,
I accept you.
Yeah, I accept you. So and then to kind of go, well, I don't know, he'll tell us what to do. It's almost like that we don't have the ability to be that safe space for our children.
And for ourselves as well.
And that's exactly where it starts. We can't do it for ourselves. We don't heal it within ourselves. So then we cannot do it for our children. That's how one of the signs that we can't do it is when our kids drive us crazy. If we react like this and we start shouting, it means the inner child hasn't been healed.
Yes.
Because if you're a true adult and they freaking out, there's nothing triggers in you.
Yep.
It's just like, okay, yeah. So it is good things to look out for, and we all do it. But some people live like that all the time, and others who actually, seek for help only sometimes when they either run out of their resources or they're tired or whatever, only then react. And we're all human, we're not perfect. It's not, the aim is not to be perfect, it's aim to be more self-aware, to be to have a better quality of life. It's just doing it for yourself, because surviving is not fun.
It was very deep, very interesting, very insightful podcast.
Yeah.
And I want you, if possible, to give 5 things
Okay.
that the person, after listening to this podcast, can start doing to slow down. Because the question is, are we enemies of ourselves? Practically not really, but kind of are. But the whole conclusion is that we have the power
Yes.
and we have the responsibility to take care of ourselves.
I would break that down into, you said 5 things that people can do to
Yep.
slow down. I would say 5 things that people can do,
Yep.
and slow down is one of them.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yes, actually, physically, put alarm on. I don't know. Tell yourself, well, this is the time when I'm actually gonna, whatever I'm doing, working, drinking, driving, doesn't matter. I'm gonna just take that moment, stop the car, stop working, closing the computer, whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. And I'm just gonna sit down and count and take deep breaths into the belly on the count of 4. Hold the breath on 4. And then breathe out on 4. And just allow yourself to do it a few times. It's almost like a gift for yourself. See, I feel you, I hear you, I am here with you. It's okay. I'm not there somewhere where what's gonna happen tomorrow in my crazy anxiety. I am not there, oh my god, my, I don't know, lover that used to love me and I used to love him, where we are either thinking about what happened or what's going to happen. This moment here, and breathing is the easiest tool to use. Allow yourself that, because the more you breathe, the deeper your kind of breath goes, the better your physical body feels as well. The bloating will go away. The mood, 90% of our dopamine is actually here in our gut. It's all about that. How are we breathing? The book I read and I loved was Breath. It is absolutely smashing. If you haven't read it, read it. It's incredible. It's about how we eat, how we chew, how we breathe, how we sleep. Everything is how we think, how we perform, about everything. And it's just so simple. But those simple things are so boring. You want me to just sit here and like an idiot, right? Just take a breath in and breath out. I'm breathing all the time. Why should I even pay attention to it? To slow down, to allow yourself to bring yourself back from that rush and from that kind of go, go, go moments, and actually take a breath in and just be. Most of the most incredible kind of insights and thoughts and genius solutions came to me in those moments when I was breathing. Second thing, start asking yourself, what do you want? Actually, physically asking yourself, sweetheart, what do you want? Is it, do you want to go to the toilet and you've been wanting to go to the toilet for 30 minutes, but you're ignoring it because you are too busy doing something else? What is it that you want right now? Do you just want to go and sit in the sun? Or you want to cook for your kids? Or you want to go and read a paper? It doesn't matter. But when you receive that answer, you have to do it. Even if you do it only for 1 minute, you have to do it. Most of the time, the answer will be, I'm thirsty. Because most likely, at some point, when you ignore your thirst, the hunger kicks in.
Yes.
Not the true hunger, but the false hunger, where you go, oh, I'm hungry. You're not actually hungry. And the difference is when you start choosing between, oh, do I want that? No, I don't want that. Do I want this? I don't know. I just want something different. It means you're not hungry. You're actually thirsty. Because when you are hungry, you will eat your own leg. The true physical hunger is like, I don't care what's in front of me, just give me something, I'm hungry, right? And we all experience that.
Oh, yes, so
Yeah.
many times.
And we all experience like, I want something, but I don't know what, something maybe juicy. It's a sign of being thirsty. And if you keep
Yeah.
asking yourself, what do you want? Asking the most important person in your life, the one who will take that, who did take that very first breath with you, and the one who will take that very last breath out with you. What do they want? It's probably one of the most valuable things you can do to raise quality of your life. Simple things. I want to go into complicated things, but nobody's going to do them. Like, I don't know, meditation, yoga and all that. But people know they should be doing it, but they don't do it. So I just leave them aside. What else can they do? Don't take everything as is being presented to you. Always ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. Nobody thinks you're stupid. And actually, it's a chance to allow the other person to explain themselves. What do they actually mean when they say that? Because sometimes when you ask them why, they will go, I don't know. And if they don't know, how can you trust them on what they are telling you?
I read it online.
Yeah. So do start asking questions, and not just in your like normal life at home. Ask authority, question authority. It's actually quite fun. Just sitting there observing them, trying to come up with some kind of solution when they tell you, well, this is our policy, this is the law, and this is what we do. And I go, okay, why? And they go, well, because it says in the book. Okay, what book? Where? Show me. I want to see it. What are you basing that on? And they go, well, it's not really our regulations, but this is something we should be advising you. So it's your advice. So it's something based on your advice. So it's not about me. It's about you. Then is it? So it's always interesting to see how people react. It makes the whole thing more fun. Yes. Ooh. We ignore sleep big time. For a long time, I thought sleep was just such an unnecessary thing that I had to do.
Why do you need to sleep if you can read another book, if you can finish the project?
Work or just do fun things. And it was just like, yeah. But when you actually look into sleep and what actually happens in your sleep, that you are building muscle mass, you are detoxing, you're doing so many different things. And another thing, I love this, is mouth taping. And it's actually mentioned in the book Breath, where you take a piece of plaster, something super simple, but it makes such a huge difference to your health. Just tape your mouth after you brush your teeth. If you don't brush your teeth, don't brush your teeth. I don't care what you do with your teeth, but please do tape your mouth up and go to sleep. A lot of people say, oh, I can't do that because my nose is not breathing. Your nose is not breathing because you're not breathing with your nose. For you to start breathing with your nose, you have to start breathing with your nose. Sorry, it's a bit kind of too simple, but it is what it is. It is so good for your brain function. It is so good for the way your muscles perform. It is good for all your nasal passages, about your jaw, the way your jaw develops, about the roof of your mouth, so many different levels. It's just absolutely incredible. One plaster a night, you don't even need to understand it. Just try it for yourself. You will sleep deeper. You will actually go into deep sleep. You will wake up more restored. You will stop snoring for a start, which is an amazing thing, right? And it's just the way that the chemistry works when you take in a deep breath through your nose and through your mouth. They're completely different. So when you're breathing through your mouth, it's a survival breathing, which means it oxidates your body and it puts you into a state where the toxins are being released. You are creating your own toxins basically because you need to survive. So you're going when you're running away from tiger. Yes? When not nasal breathing.
What a day!
It's about living. It's about thriving. It's about I'm okay. So there was actually a study done with, I think they were either Canadian or American professional athletes, where they taped their mouth. I believe they were swimmers. My husband thinks that they were cyclists, so I'm not sure. Maybe I should reread the book. But what they did, they taped their mouth, and they had to do it purely through nose. They did not hit the moment where they got tired. My husband went on the rowing machine. He always does the same thing every single time he goes, certain amount of distance and certain amount of minutes. He taped his mouth and went on that. And as he's doing it, he realizes the numbers are there, but he carries on going and he's not tired. And he's like, I've never, ever felt that in my life. This is incredible. Why? Because the chemistry in your body is different. So please do go to sleep. It is very important. And when you do tape your mouth up. There are 4 pillars that your health stands on, and you can't do 3 and not do 1 because then the whole construction will fall apart. It's your sleep, it's your diet, it's that kind of slowing down moment, and
breathe and drink.
No, it's exercise. Movement is life. Whenever you stop moving, you are kind of giving your body the signal, and that's it. We're done here in this life. You need to carry on moving. Because while we're moving, we're exercising. There's a dopamine release. There is endorphin release. It is very important. I know it's all boring, like eating healthy and moving, exercising, and then we have to go to sleep on top of that. But, this is the price we have to pay, and it's our job to make it interesting and exciting. Cook exciting meals. Do something really cool before you go to sleep, like, I don't know, affirmations about you being healthy and wealthy and whatever. Or how did we go to sleep when we were kids? We started dreaming about wonderful things that can happen. It's your job to make it exciting.
Mhm.
And one last thing I want to say. One of the biggest medicines that is free, available, and extremely pleasant is laughter. Don't wait for someone to make you laugh. Look out for it as a medicine yourself. Make yourself laugh. Don't be like, well, you didn't make me, it's not funny enough, that's why I'm not laughing. No, actually create the moments when you laugh. Because without even realizing what is happening, you are healing yourself through laughter. So make more moments and occasions where you can laugh.
It's so warm.
Oh, thank you.
I feel so slowed down as well. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for listening.
We have one last question to go through.
Okay.
The question that we also ask every single guest before they leave.
Mhm.
How do you judge a method by short-term results,
Mhm.
long-term results,
Mhm.
or overall experience?
Don't judge it.
even my jaw cracked. I opened so quickly.
Experience it.
Okay.
Experience it yourself, because these things all matter because they are part of our journey. It's just like before and after. It's that kind of thing,
Mhm.
Short term, of course, it's important to have short term. Long term, yes, I don't want to just be healthy for the first week of my treatment. I want to be healthy and get healthy and healthy and healthier, right?
Mhm.
If somebody tells you yoga is good for you and it's going to be good for you for 35 days, but after that, you probably will never walk again. Will you do it? No.
No.
But you will feel incredible for 35 days.
Yeah. No, doesn't appeal.
A lot of drugs are like that. We know they're bad for us. I mean, drugs are recreational drugs. When people sniff, take, inject, or whatever, people know at some point there's a possibility of them killing them, but yet they go for that short-term thing. It's a very self-destructive behavior.
Yeah.
And it's not the drugs we should be working with, but why this person feel like they want to destroy themselves, basically.
Mhm.
But it's like, what do we look at? The short-term quick fix, the long, where we actually want to be, everybody wants to live long, I believe, in their right mind. If they don't, then we kind of, find out why. And you don't want to be swallowing a bitter, horrible substance that is like slime kind of substance, but it's good for you. It's your overall experience as well. When you go into a doctor and they have to shove up a thing up your nose or in your throat and they have to find out, and it's going to be, good for you, and they will find out will find out what's actually wrong with you. But the experience is so disgusting and awful that a lot of people are putting it off. So overall experience of what is happening to you is extremely important. That's why I love homeopathy so much, because my children have no idea how real medicine tastes like. All they know is sugar pills. Can I please have another sugar pill, the magic pill that you give me that fixes everything? Because there's not that the kind of strange consistency or bitterness or sourness or drink your own urine stuff or any of that kind of stuff. One of the things my mom did was cabbage juice, freshly squeezed cabbage juice. It was smelling like fart and tasting like vomit because it's warm.
I remember that. My grandma used to do it as well, and I'm like, ugh.
And it's so good for you. But my overall experience has been ruined. I don't care. It's good for me. So yeah, on one hand, all of them important. On the other hand, don't judge them. Just do it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your time and asking questions and holding space for me. Thank
It
you.
was amazing. Please subscribe. Please subscribe and like, share, comment, ask questions. We're here to answer them. And that's it.
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go.